eventually be our every Monday meeting, standard time, with Pastor Maxwell. He is not on the call. However, he does send his regards. So every Monday we will do a debriefing and a briefing. Debriefing of what has occurred the previous Sunday, a briefing for what is to take place on the next Sunday. Tonight, our host and also our team leader will be Miss Janice Anderson. You may have seen her emails or you may have seen her name and certain stuff that we have done. She is part of the consulting group that we use as a church. And so on tonight, she's going to lead us forward and give us some policies and procedures of what it needs to be done and what is being expected for Sunday morning and also Wednesday. So I turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Good evening, everybody. Before I get started, I want, first of all, thank you, everybody, for your time. I want to honor everyone's time. I think I let you know in the audio. I don't know who received the automatic call from me tonight, but I sent a call out at about 6:15, just letting you know, hey, I'm excited about getting on a call tonight. I wanted you to block off the entire hour. I want to say, oh, I'm not going to use the whole hour, but we might, because this is important. And so I just pray that every week that we just set aside this time to plan for the next week and plan for what's coming up. I will do my best to honor your time and not go over at all, but I do want everybody to block off the time. So before I go into more about who I am, can we just start with a word of prayer? Is that okay with everybody? All right, let's just pray. Father, we thank you so much for being an awesome God. We thank you, Lord, for allowing us to make it through this day. Lord, for bringing us to this place in our day. We thank you, Lord, for keeping us and for using us. And thank you for blessing us with the gifts and talents, abilities, and skills that you gifted us with. And then, Lord, the right mind to use them with. For that, we say thank you. We come to you now inviting you and the fullness of your presence and your kingdom agenda into our meeting today. Father, your word says if we commit our works to you, you will establish our thoughts. So now we give all of this over to you. We give New Beach Grove over to you. We give Pastor Maxwell's vision over to you. We give our individual roles over to you. We give this meeting over to you. We give our next service over to you. We give the future plans over to you. And we ask now, Father, that you would show us how to think about those things. We relinquish our agenda into your hands and we welcome your agenda. Holy Spirit, have your way in this meeting. Correct us when we need to be corrected. Challenge us the way we need to be challenged. And encourage us where we need to be encouraged. Father, we just ask now in the name of Jesus that the fullness of the power of your kingdom come down and remove all distractions, all deterrences, everything that will keep us from operating according to your will and your plans for our life this day. We plead the blood of Jesus against those things, and we thank you for forward motion. We thank you for progress. We thank you for being in sync and on one accord. And we thank you that in all things that we do concerning this endeavor, you and you alone will be glorified. Father, have your way. I'm excited. Speak through me, guide me, and guide this team. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, so everybody's on mute, so I can't hear y'all say amen. Hope y'all said amen. So I'm Janice. Welcome. Can everybody hear me? Y'all hear me? Okay, good. Welcome. I'm super excited. Let me give you a little bit about me. I'm not just the consultant for the team, but I am the consultant for the team. I serve for New Beach Grove as a brand strategist for Pastor Maxwell, and then just as an overall strategist for the various teams that come together to make up the plan and what we're doing to enhance the brand of New Beach Grove and to further the vision that the Lord has given Pastor Maxwell. I'm excited about that, but I'm also a fellow team member. We all together on the same page. Let's see, I own my company, Marua Consulting, where we have the awesome privilege to help pastors, Christian leaders, and those who have a kingdom agenda create and execute plans that will help them to build, brand, and expand their vision without compromising their message. I've been doing this full time now, so in 2018 for 10 years. Oh my gosh. I think it's 11 years. Yeah, 11 years. My last corporate job, I was the director of marketing and PR for Streaming Faith. Some of you may know Streaming Faith and remember them. But before Streaming Faith, I worked for a lot of different companies in marketing. Conoco Oil, which was bought out by BP, so we were BP Conoco. Also worked for the Medical Center of Central Georgia and some other companies. But my biggest accomplishment I think, when it comes from a professional arena, is probably my ministry work. What probably matters to each of you is that I love the Lord. Hope it was evident in my prayer and in my work. I really want to honor him and glorify him with my gifts, my talents, my skills, and my abilities. And I've served pretty much in every role in the ministry. I have worked behind the camera as a camera operator. I've been a producer. I've been a bootleg editor when things were not right. Only thing I haven't worked when it comes to the media is the soundboard. I don't know. Oh, I press the mute button and turn it on, turn it back off. I've also served as the lead of the evangelism ministry. So I was the girl that would go out in the streets on Saturday mornings. I would galvanize the team together. I worked for people that you probably know, and worked alongside people you probably know. E. Dewey Smith was my pastor for 8 years, and I served as his director of marketing and over our media. I started his first partnership program. I worked for Rudolph McKissick. I worked for Otis Moss Jr. I've worked for Donald Hilliard, Bishop Donald Hilliard. I just worked for a lot of big ministries and a lot of small ministries as well. My heart and passion goes out to those who decide to say yes for the Lord and do it in a way that honors him. And so I take this very seriously. This is not just a job for me. I can work anywhere and do what I do. I love it and I'm good at it, but I do this because this is what I'm called to do. But I don't do it with any shortness of excellence or effort. I'm off on Mondays. Thank God my husband is working on a basement project because he'd be looking at me side-eyed. But for me, it's important that we get this meeting done. And so that's why I'm here. So that's a little bit about me. I could say a lot more, but I wanted you to know just that much. I'm with you. I get it. I get it when pastor asks for last minute requests and want them to be done well. I get it when there's a vision but no plan on how we're going to execute it. I get it when we pull all-nighters. I've done watch night for big mega ministries. I actually was a part of the crew that produced and filmed and made available the Azusa Street Centennial Celebration back in 2006, where 100,000 people were able to see via online streaming that celebration from 5 locations in LA, and I orchestrated the whole thing. I was the leader of the team. It was my first ever big project because in my position, and it was great, but it was a lot of work. So I get it. And so I'm just like, hopefully I can bring my abilities and my skills and my strategies to this amazing team that's in a way that will glorify God and allow the vision to be amplified. So that's some things about me. I'm going to take everybody off of mute. If you're in a loud place, just press mute on your phone till it's your turn. But I'd love to know who you are. So I want to know who you are and what is your role at New Beach Grove. Go ahead. Nobody else want to talk.
Derek, I'm the worship leader at New Beach Grove.
Okay, Derek, you're the worship leader? Okay.
Nico and I work in audiovisual.
Okay.
I'm Wes. I'm one of the deacons at New Beach Grove, and I'm also pastor's armor bearer.
Awesome.
So I'm John, and I'm the exec. So basically, everything funnels through me but the money.
Okay. Good. John, you got a new name. It's John. It's new. I know that. Go.
Gene, RJ, Ron, that's my 3 names, and Alex. We do media and graphics.
Media and graphics, okay. Alex, I need to hear your voice. Say hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Can't wait to see your face one day. Awesome. Is that everybody who's on the call? Yes. So I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute everybody. First of all, I'm gonna say 2 things. Thank you guys for the intro. It was brief and short. I realize I am the only female on this call. That is interesting to me. And I don't know if you guys can tell by the way that I talk that I'm a Southern woman. I live in Atlanta, been here about the last, I think I was telling Jonathan, 16 years, but I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia. Some people say they can't tell, but I'm I'm also from the hood, not just Savannah, but from the hood part of Savannah. I'm the oldest of 5. I'm a little bit ghetto, and I'm educated, but I'm a little ghetto, a little country. So just depending on what we're doing, it might come out. But I love what I do, and I work hard to do it and to do it well. So let me just go right in. Thank you, everybody, for introduction. I want to share the objective of what we're doing. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to do tonight, and then what we're going to discuss tonight. I had like 1,000 meetings with Pastor Maxwell in preparation for this, and I want to make sure that I communicate what his desire is, but then I really want to hear from you all. And then in the rest of the weeks, it will go a lot smoother. This is probably going to be the longest one. So first, I want you to get clear on our objective. Our objective as a whole, as a team, is to strengthen the impact of New Beach Grove Church and the ministry of Dr. Willard Maxwell Jr. by creating and implementing systems that support a seamless worship experience for those who attend in-house or online. So we want to create systems and implement them, not just create them, that will enable us to support a seamless worship experience for the in-house people as well as the online people. And my goal tonight and over our time working together is that we will have documented and easy to execute system for all worship services and all special events. So not that RJ just knows what to do, or I know what to do, or Deacon West knows what to do, but that is documented in case we're not there, and that the people who we have to fill in for us when we're not there, they know what to do. So it's just like a seamless transition. Who's on in here? Hold on, I'm gonna unmute you guys. Anybody in here played any sports? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Nobody. What did you guys play?
Basketball.
Okay, good. What position you played, Deacon West?
Point guard.
Okay, point. I played basketball for 9 years. I was a small forward. I'm 5'11". I'm sitting down right now. I'm 5'11". I always wear heels though, so I probably, if you see me, I'll probably look like 6'2".
I met you before.
You came down to my event. Oh, so good. So you're used to me.
I had hair then.
I didn't recognize you. Awesome. So
Jonathan stole it.
So you guys know, anybody who played any sport, you know it's important that for the team to function together, that we all know to play. Like you can't play, this ain't street ball, we doing our own thing. It's important that we know what the play is to play, and everybody's running the play. And even the person who comes in to fill in the gap, the sub, knows how to run the play. You will never get in the game if you don't know the play. So that's what I want to do tonight, is make sure that we know what the plays are and that we're equipped to run them. Also, I want to, that leads me to goal number 2, to ensure that all team members are aware and fully trained to equip and meet the expectations that Dr. Maxwell has. I don't know whose phone it is. I want to unmute it, but okay, I think I figured it out. Hold on. It's somebody. I don't know. I'll mute you guys up. So once we decide what the process is, I want to partner with you all to make sure everyone is trained. Now, I have served in almost all the roles listed, sometimes in ministry, in some part of my life, but that doesn't mean I'm good in all the roles. I'm not a designer, but I know what looks good. I'm not, like I told you, I was a bootleg editor. Like if we had a crunch, and I can probably make something happen, but it would look nothing like what RJ would do. Or somebody who's proficient in that. I can definitely work a camera, but I haven't been behind the camera for real in a lot of years. But we have team members here who can do that. And so I can tell you what the objective is, and then you guys who are the experts can help to train the team. But I will train you on some things like leadership-wise and some other productivity things. The things that I'm good at, I'm really good at, and I'll be able to train when the time comes. I also want to make sure that all the teams know and communicate with each other. The reason why we are having this meeting is because all of us have spoken with Dr. Maxwell privately, and probably none of us have communicated with each other. We just all had like separate silo conversations. And you know, that makes for just a lot of misses. You know, I can't cover you if I don't know what he told you or you told him, and you can't cover me. And, you know, we're probably doing duplicate efforts because we're all not talking. So our goal is to be on the same page. That's why we're going to have these Monday meetings. And then the last goal that I have is to bring alignment and consistency between what's in-house and what's going on all the other platforms. Y'all know that, you could just nod your head. How many of you have been to a worship experience and it's like amazing, and then you listen online and it's so distorted and you're like, what in the world happened? Or you're in the house and it's like, oh my goodness, this is great, but you don't feel any of that when you see it on the internet. It don't feel the same, and it shouldn't be that way. Or pastor is preaching heaven down and you got this bootleg graphic that's up. Like, it don't even match. Like, it doesn't match. And so the goal is that we bring alignment into all the efforts, because everything that we have access to that we're deciding to use for New Beach Grove is a part of the audience's worship experience. It's a part of their encounter with God. So let me just go ahead and start there by saying this. What we do and why we do it is not just because we're producing another video, because we want to make sure he has 5 graphics and we want to compete with the hottest ministries and all that's out there. That's really not why we do what we do. Our sole purpose for doing what we do, regardless of what the role is, whether it's an usher, a greeter, a camera operator, sound technician, even as the executive pastor, we're doing this so that we can partner with Dr. Maxwell and God in aiding and the people to have an experience with God. And if you don't have that level of focus and seriousness about what you do, now is an important time to rethink your job. It's like, do I want to do this? This is not like work. This is not like the other work. You may use your same skills and talents, but this is probably the most important thing that you can do, because people are going to experience God, or how they experience God depends on how well we do our job. So when our stuff is all over the place, when we have rapid camera swings, or when we're late, when the sound is distorted, when the image is blurry, when you got a whole bunch of people that don't look like us and don't look like none of the people in the sanctuary, but that's all the people we got on the screen. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm recording this, so I got to be right. I got to be politically correct. But y'all know we got vanilla people and we chocolate people. That don't match. Like, we send in mixed messages. So our goal is like, hey, God, we're partnering with you. Thank you for choosing us. And we take this very seriously. And I pray that that's how you see this. And if you haven't, I just pray that that is a posture that you take when you do what you do. So where did I want to go next? So I want to celebrate. Pastor Maxwell says so many things, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me go back. So this is why we do what we do. Let's talk about how we do what we do. So in my company, I have managed to look at, I'm a systems woman. I love systems. Like, and I feel like everything we do more than one time, if you did it last week and you're going to do it again this week, you should have a system for it. So anything that's repeated, there should be a system. And in my world over here, if it's not written, it's not real. So this is how we work. If it ain't written, it ain't real. So don't say you got a system that's not written down, because then you don't have a system. So if you do it more than once, if it's a repeated task, it needs to be a system, and all systems need to be written down. That makes sense? All right, good. So what we want to do is I've narrowed down 3 things we essentially do. We create opportunities for people to have a personal encounter with God. We capture the worship experience with as much precision and excellence as possible. And then we share it we create executable strategies that allow us to share the experience in the most compelling and consistent way possible, using the tools and resources and platforms that we have access to. We're not trying to use every platform that's available. And y'all, we family. This between us. We don't have to use every platform that is available. We just use the ones that is available to us. Sometimes pastor wants to do stuff because it seems really cool. It doesn't mean we have to use it. But y'all got to be like strong and say, oh, that's a good idea, but not right now. Or just at least tell me. Because now we're trying to manage 17 platforms on Sunday when we could just use the ones that we're doing well with. Does that make sense, everybody? Awesome. So how we create experiences: preaching and teaching, praise and worship, offering, multimedia presentations, and then serving through the ministers, the deacons, the ushers, etc. So I want to start with how we create an opportunity for people to encounter God. You creating an opportunity for people to encounter God starts at the parking lot. Somebody got a bad attitude, parking space ain't clearly marked, it's nasty outside, they're going to have a bad experience already when they get ready to walk in the door. Ushers, and Miss Moses couldn't be here tonight. You got a bad attitude, your breath is not smelling good. I mean, like, that's just real. Somebody has a bad experience as soon as they walk in the door. Like, that impacts whether or not I'm going to even hear the preaching. Then we get in, sounds all jacked up, you know, worship is not pre-planned, people are off, we impact their experience. So even with Deacon West as the armor bearer, if pastor is distracted and you're not protecting him from being distracted, that impacts somebody's experience and their worship encounter. All of our roles are critical, and all of us aid in the creation process. So one of the things Pastor did want me to say, want to celebrate some things that went well last week, was Nico, you are doing a great job with the camera team and with the streaming. He's really excited about that. He said it's been going very well. I got some other feedback. I'll talk about that in a minute. But he wanted to say that you're doing a really good job with that. Alex, Pastor wanted me to let you know that you did a great job, with some of the graphics that you've been having to go along with the sermon. So we got some additional feedback. I'll talk about that in a minute. Esmond's not on the call. Eugene, he loves, of course, he's already told you this, the videos that you create and your creativity with the videos. He loved the In Touch video. Thought that was really awesome and is doing a really good job. He felt like it was a big step up for the ministry. And then we got some additional feedback as well. And okay, so I did want to say those things. I'll tell you guys, because I've been rocking with Pastor Maxwell for a minute now, that I can tell the difference, and y'all make him look really good, and you guys are doing a really good job. So partnering with him, I know he can be all over the place sometimes and give us things at the 2 minutes before it's time to go, but y'all do a good job. So thank you for that. Here's where, as far as capturing, that was also we're doing a good job with that. As far as how we capture each experience, great job. Sharing, that team is not on here, but we can do a better job in that. Now I want to talk about how we do what we do. I want in the how we do what we do part, I want to talk about what is the process you go through to do what you do, and how do we make it better. I'm going to unmute the lines, and I'll start with you, Nico, because that's probably easier, and then I'll go to you, Eugene. So my question is, how you do what you do, what makes it easy, and what makes it not so easy. Okay.
How we do what we do. Of course, we all come in, hopefully the hour before service starts on Sundays. Make sure everything's working properly. Make sure everything's in place and everything's up on screens and cameras are set where they need to be. And communication is key, obviously, for the video ministry on Sundays. What makes it easy is, people just paying attention and listening. I know it's difficult for a lot of people because it's so loud on Sundays, but paying attention and just being focused on the what we're doing, because we all understand that we're showing the worship service to several people who may not go to the church. So understanding what we're doing and why we're doing it makes it so much easier. And what makes it not so easy was that the last part.
Yep.
What makes it not so easy? Just maybe not having 100%. Well, let me not say dedication. Just what makes it not easy is maybe not having enough people. Maybe show up on certain Sundays or Wednesdays, or on Sundays and Wednesdays. That makes it not. And we're scrambling trying to fit people in different spots and locations and positions.
Okay. So thank you, Nico, for that. I want to give you some feedback on your part. So I noticed a lot of things that you just said. Number one, you said hopefully everybody shows up an hour beforehand. So I would love to change that to, in order to serve on this ministry, we need all camera operators, because you manage the camera operators, right? Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So maybe we can move it to camera operators are required to be there 1 hour before service. So instead of hopefully, but let's just say that is what the requirement is. As far as understanding what they do and why, I don't know who's over communicating that to them or who has communicated that to them, but that needs to be communicated. Only way we can all get on the same page is when there is a page that's created that everybody can get to. And I think what we often say is, we say that colloquialism all the time, let's get on the same page. And this is going to be country for a minute. Ain't no page nowhere. So my goal is, after this meeting, is that we do have a page for everyone to get on, and so that we can agree, as you're serving this particular team, these are your expectations. And I think sometimes, so we can hold people accountable to those. I think sometimes what happens is, especially when ministry and in volunteer opportunities, we don't want to hold people accountable because A, we feel like I'm not paying them, or B, I'm not paying them a whole lot. Well, this is my philosophy. If they volunteered, that means they said yes, they would do this. And since they said yes, I want them to know what they said yes to, because you can just choose not to volunteer. So I treat volunteers the same way that I treat paid staff, because they're showing up and they have expressed an interest and they are getting paid. They're just not getting paid money. And so hopefully I'll come and do a volunteer training at the church, and I'll talk about the 11 ways outside of money we can compensate our volunteers, but that can give more buy-in, more loyalty, and more structure to what the team is doing. As far as the not having enough, we'll talk about that at enough people. We'll talk about that, Nico. Not tonight, but I did write that down as something that we can work on. I do want to say this. I don't know if you know this yet, but I had talked about an org chart with Pastor Maxwell. And so Pastor has you over all of the video. I don't know if you knew that. So I'll come up with a name for that. But that, Nico, you over all video and all camera operators. The feedback that Pastor has for you is this. Don't be afraid to stand in your leadership, and don't ask the people who you are leading what they want to do. You're going to give the direction, because you're the one that is the most experienced and the most credible, and you're the one that has the position of leader over the videos. So you let them know where you want them to be. So for the producer for the week, if you don't want somebody back there, you just let them know, hey, you're not producing this week, okay? Like, don't give it because that's where they want to sit in a chair. I remember when Dre was up there, he called and he was like, yeah, some girl wanted to be in the chair who wasn't that great. I don't know. Maybe, do y'all have a difficult time telling the women, no, y'all can't be the producer? Please tell me. Yes, no.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering, because I'm like, do I need to take a trip out there? No, you're not producing, So you heard me tell the story before. We had this guy, I think it did. I told to the social media team. So when I used to lead, work in the media ministry for Pastor Dewey, I worked in the back, and we had this guy, Mr. Eddie. Mr. Eddie had been at the church long before I got there, and this is at the new church now, Great Travels Rest, and he had been a member for a million years, and I've been part of Pastor Smith's church since he was in Macon. So Mr. Eddie would come to church before service start, and he would stay way after it was over. He was always early, and he stayed late, and he wanted to work the camera. But Mr. Eddie had a shaky arm. And so every time you had to go to his shot was shaking and it was blurry. So I'm like, oh, Lord, Mr. Eddie, like, we can't have you there. So we try to be nice. We're going to move him to duplication. So then we moved him to duplication. But every time he put the labels on the CDs, it was wrinkled. So now it's like, okay, Mr. Eddie can't be on the camera. He can't do the duplication. Let's find something else. And we kept trying to find stuff for him. And so it just didn't work. He didn't need to be in that ministry. So I had to tell him, thank you, Mr. Eddie. We appreciate you, but at this time, we're not going to be able to use you in the media ministry. You know why? Because when I buy tape and I'm paying my $15, I don't want the label to be all wrinkly, and I definitely don't want no shaky arm. Because when we're looking at stuff, like when we're doing videos, it's supposed to mimic as close as possible to the real life experience. And ain't none of us sitting around looking like this. But in church, we're afraid to tell the truth. So if you're not a good switcher, don't let them switch. Like we need to find something else. Now I can give you all, not on this call, but I can give you some creative ways to say it with confidence and boldness that probably won't hurt as badly, but we got to be able to say no. And Nico, for you run the video. So if you didn't know, you in charge of that. Folks who can't switch don't need to be back there. Like, people are in position, or people you feel confident with their skills and ability, because it's gonna come down to you if the video look crazy. Okay?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Okay, so next person. Eugene. What is it that you do? How do you do it? And what's working and what's not working?
Well, to be honest, I'm trying to work on how to redefine on what I do, because when I initially came on, I came on one way, but because of budget, we've had to scale back significantly on what I'm making. So I'm in the process of trying to figure out how I can readjust what I'm doing. And in that, I've still been doing as much as I possibly can. So, for example, we had a mature adult revival. We had 3 services every noonday. It was pretty much me and Danny running the whole service. That's lighting, sound, and 4 cameras, cutting, editing, and trying to make DVDs on all 3 days in the daytime. In addition, I get the service. I get there at 6:30 in the morning. I open the church. I turn on everything. I set up everything, in the hopes that when everybody get there at 7, which really doesn't happen yet, we can actually go through the process to find out how everything is laid out. I set up everything on ProPresenter, so our ProPresenter operator, all he has to do is sit down and hit the next button. I lay out the services and the orders and the screens. In addition to that, sometimes Pastor Maxwell, like for this last week, he had the basketball tournament, or the week before this, when we were talking about the Trump stuff, we wanted to go the Trump way. And so we was going that way. I was working on the trailer, and then we changed. So I almost had worked on the trailer for no reason, because what I was really working on got switched because we went to something else in the middle of the week. So it is a challenge, I guess, for me, if you want to call it that, but I'm used to this. This is what I do. But in order to do what I can do, but at the same time, this is not, I can't operate like this is my full-time job, because I'm not getting, and this is my business, so I still have other people I work for. So how to give him what he needs of what he's able to pay me, but at the same time not one, overwork myself, or number 2, not make sure that he has what I can best give him.
That's good. I appreciate your honesty in this, and I just appreciate you being clear. I have so many things to say to that. So let me first start by saying, addressing, I'm going to go back to you, but on the other people on the call, who's all a contractor? Like you work for other clients.
Alex. Me. I am one as well.
Who said me?
Alex.
Okay, Alex, RJ, anybody else? That's it. Okay. So for those of us who are contractors, let me just go ahead and address that. So right now is me, Alex. Is Patrick a contractor as well? Yes, he is.
Yeah, but for choir only.
For choir only, okay, that's fine. But I just want okay. So Patrick is a contractor, and let's see, I got one other person. Where's my list? I just want to make sure. So for everybody, Andre, is he a contractor?
Yeah, musician.
Okay, Esmond, is he a contractor?
Camera operator.
But he's not contracted.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay, yeah, I think okay. So let me just say, I want to say this. I want you all to remember this. So I am not only so when I have people work for me, and I talk in stories. So when I have people work for me, most of my team is contracted out. I probably only have one person that's that gets paid close to full time, and that's my assistant. Everybody else is a contractor. And when they're working with me, they get to work with me in two different ways. They get to work with me first as the CEO. So you got CEO Janice. CEO Janice is very concerned about the business of Marua, that's the name of my company, and my client. And when I'm in CEO mode, I do not want to hear about all this other stuff y'all got going on. Because as a CEO, I just want to know that you are doing a great job with my stuff, that I can trust you with my stuff. I can trust you with my vision. I can trust you with my clients. But if I'm consistently hearing about all the other things, what it says to the CEO is everybody else is more important than my stuff. That's CEO Janice. But then I also am a colleague to these people, and I serve as a coach. So Coach Janice and colleague Janice, we could talk about whatever you want to talk about. We could talk about how difficult it is. We could talk about how that crazy CEO Janice just asked me this 5 minutes ago, and now she wants me to have it, all of that. But you got to know the difference. I'm saying that because oftentimes we come into this situations like this, and we take a very camaraderie role and colleague role, and we forget that the people we're working for are the CEOs of their organization. And so we don't prioritize them. When I'm talking to every one of my clients think they're the most important thing. Every last one of them. They think they're my only client. Every client I got think they're my only client. The reason why I'm saying this, hold on, I'm gonna mute everybody. The reason why I'm saying this is because I'm busy just like everybody else. I don't even work on Mondays. And just because we're in the middle of a basement project, my husband has agreed to this. And because my other clients know I don't work on Mondays, I made myself available. But this was the need for this client, and this was what I was willing to do. And so I did this. I mean, you know, Dr. Trim is not hearing me talk about Dr. Maxwell. You know, other clients are not hearing me talk about how much work I have. I just want us to be sensitive to that. I feel like we all have very full schedules and we all are very busy. And one thing, especially us who are contractors, that we want to be sensitive to is bringing up our other work. So a different way of addressing that would be, hey, I am available between these time slots, and I think I can get this done within that time. So instead, establishing clear boundaries, hey, this is what I can do for the time allotted and the resources allotted, and this is what I set up that I'm not going to get done, even though I'm not going to be able to do it. So I want us to kind of mature in the way that we work with people, because it doesn't make them feel, because we just want to honor everyone where they are. And I don't want any client to feel like one project is bigger than the other project, or better than the other project, or more significant than the other project. Does that make sense? I'm trying to say what I need to say without, y'all know what I'm saying, right?
That's true. But we also want to make sure that nobody asks for a Bentley paying a Toyota price.
So what we do, they can ask all they want to. So here's my thing is this, RJ, let them ask, but we can say no. So what we can do, so we could just say no.
But the problem with visionaries is, even though they understand they're asking for a lot, it don't stop their vision. So they can in one breath say, I know I'm asking for way more, and let's hold back on what you do. And an hour later say, I had this bright idea, and leave a voice message. So I hear what you're saying, but I mean, we do this all day long, and I understand. I mean, I'm here with a whole bunch of leaders, so I get it. But at the same time, we do need for some, and maybe that's what you can do to help us out, is to say, hey, you know, really, from what you're asking for, this is really all they really can do. And so all the other stuff, because I mean, to be honest, right now we're at a conference, and I'm supposed to be shooting B-roll, but I'm taking the time to be on a conference call, even though I'm getting paid right now I'm really supposed to be over there in service right now. So it's, it's things like that where it's like, okay, we all make adjustments and sacrifices, and we make a lot of adjustments and sacrifices. But at the same time, we can't be, you know what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
So here's my thing. I'm going to say this last thing and we're going to move on, because I do want us to, this is what I want everybody to be upfront about what we can do. I mean, this we in a good, this is a safe space. So for Janice, I like I said, I started at the beginning of the call, I can work anywhere. I can work anywhere and get paid probably 4 to 5 times even more what I get paid working with ministry, but I choose to do this. It is a choice that I made. So in making that choice, then I'm gonna mute everybody. Then I also have to deal with what comes along with me making that choice, and I establish the boundaries. What I just want to, and I can't hear you if you're talking back, so I had to put everybody on mute for a minute, but I will open the lines again. What I want us to do is just be sensitive to what, first of all, I can level with y'all. You guys are all men. Y'all all got egos. No, y'all don't want to hear about, if I told my husband, like this morning, Pastor Maxwell called to debrief about this, and my husband came upstairs from the basement to talk about basement stuff. I'm on a work call, but that's my man. I just said, yes, sir, honey. He said, oh, honey, you on the phone? Yes, I'm on the phone. He kept talking. Finally, he realized he was talking. I was on the phone. And he said, well, oh, yeah, you were on the phone. I said, yep. He said, okay, you on the phone with the client? Yes. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But it's a way we could do things to honor each other. Now, I'm not saying you guys need to treat the church or your client like it's your spouse, but they're not going to want to hear about all the other stuff you have going on. So we got to be clear about our boundaries and establishing no boundaries. I totally get, RJ, you started at one price to be a media director. And right now, is not in the budget for you to continue in that role. So I think what's important is let's talk about what you can do for the money that you're getting paid. It may not be what the vision needs, but it's what you're willing to do for what you're getting paid. I think that's for all of us who are contractors. Let's just start there, because they can ask for the world, but we have the power to say no. I know this is what you need. However, this is what I'm able to provide. So let's just be clear about that, so that when we show up, we're doing what we agreed to do. Now, all of us do sacrifice, and sometimes things go over. But if you feel like you're being stretched and you're doing way more, rather than saying, I got to go because I got this $1 million book project coming on, and I know you need me to go run this right here, but I got $1 million. That's just, what is the word that I want to say? It's dishonoring to the person. And I would love for us to just stay in a position of honor with those that we work with. And it may not, y'all know Pastor Maxwell. He is a jokester and he's cool, but he also uses his jokes to talk about when things bother him. And that's something that we just want to we don't want to be mixing all this other stuff. So if you can't make the meeting, I can't make the meeting. We don't have to give a reason why. I just can't make it. Or I want to work on this, but we don't have to talk about the big other projects, because what you essentially are saying is everybody else is more important than you. So hope we are on the same page about that. RJ, I would love to discuss what you're able to do now that you're with the new compensation. That would be really, really great. That way we can set up a structure with the team that works along with what you're able to do. I'm going to unmute you so you can say something. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And just to respond, I don't know if everybody took us saying what we do as a dishonor. That's not what I was saying. All I was saying is, if we get emails on a daily, or we get text messages on a daily at any given time, and there's an expectation of us to respond as though we're on call all the time, that is sometimes difficult if we have other things that we have to do. So maybe we should establish, when are we going to communicate what we want, so that if you send out something and we don't answer, and you're like, well, I sent this out early, I haven't heard from you yet. Well, okay, well, I'm not available to answer every email. Like, I'm just sitting around waiting for emails and there's nothing else being done. So let's set a time that what we're going to say so that if there's a correspondence, there should be a timeline on correspondence and when we should respond, so that it doesn't seem as though we're not answering. But at the same time, we should not be, I think, held to the thing that if there's a correspondence sitting out, that we should come back at a certain time, because that's not fair to us either.
I agree. So that's good. So what I want to do is we can establish non-negotiables and, just some ways of operating. So that's really good. I also, do you have an idea of what it is that you do now, what you're going to be doing now in the new role?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still doing everything I was doing, because I realized if I did not do what I'm doing right now, I haven't found that ability to change over yet. And so for the sake of the ministry, I'm still doing pretty much everything I was doing. I haven't really changed much yet.
Okay, so as soon as I think the first assignment has been given, and that is if you can let us know what are you able to do comfortably on giving the new pay that you have, because one of the things that Pastor did bring up under your area was that you come and you get things set up, but then you have to leave, and so we need to make sure that if you're going to serve as the media director, that there's a team that's able to execute on what needs to be executed on when you're not there. This Sunday was not a good Sunday. It was a lot went wrong. Y'all know all of our phones blew up. And it was because so many things were going wrong, and he felt like he had to fix that. So perhaps we could talk about what happens on Sunday. He said, Esmond's not on the line. But other things, so let's just start there. So one of the things you said you did, when we come up, I'm talking to you now, RJ, you said that you open the church, right? So you get there what time?
I get there at 6:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I've asked for everybody else to get there at 7. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay, who is everybody else? Let's stop for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Because one of the things
everybody who works on the church, we ask to be there at 7. So if we need a sound check or if we need to set up anything, be there at 7. So that way, if there's any questions about what the flow is or what he wants, there's enough time to communicate that.
So slow down. Sound needs to be there at 7. Video needs to be there at 7. Does that mean the worship team needs to be there at 7?
Yeah, because if they're going to do a sound check, they start praying in the church. The prayer people start coming in and start praying up and down the aisle. So we want to if you want to do sound check, you want to get that out the way so it's not interrupting their praying.
Okay, so hold on. Let me ask real quick. Wes, that's you, right?
Yes.
Not Wes. Okay, I'm sorry. You're not over worship. Right here with this hat. What's your name?
Yeah.
Derek, are you the worship?
Yeah, I do my sound check every Sunday.
You say that again. You do what?
I'm there to do my sound check every Sunday.
Okay, is your team there? Do you manage the team?
Yes, I do. I'm still working on them to get there every Sunday because, again, like everyone is saying, they do not get paid. So I'm really working on them to, open up their minds to the volunteer side of it because they do not get paid. I have about 2 that get there before 7:30, but everybody else, kind of stumbles in.
And so are you able to do a sufficient sound check at 7 without everybody?
Yes, that's what I do. I can do one by myself, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, Nico, are you there at 7?
No, I don't think I've ever gotten there at 7. I think the earliest I've gotten there is 7:10. The latest I've gotten there is 7:30.
Okay, so can you be there at 7?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, so Nico's going to be able to be there at 7. Derek's going to be there at 7. And so who else? So we got sound, we have video. So then that means Esmond would need to be there at 7 as well, right?
Yeah. So
then can somebody communicate to Esmond that we need everyone there at 7? The other thing is, if you're going to stay in the role of RJ, if you're going to stay in the role of media director, then what will happen is if something happens outside of this Monday meeting and I'm not here to lead it, then you're going to call to every director. You're going to call Derek, you're going to call Nico, and you're going to call Esmond, because even if their teams are not there, then they need to be there at 7 to their teams. And since you're the media director, you're going to work with the leads because they all are going to respond to you. You're going to respond to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not you. I'm talking to RJ. RJ, you quit me already? I see your number. Where you at? Does it make sense to everybody else? Let me just say something. Let me pause for the pause for a minute. John.
Yeah.
What's on right now? I mean, LeBron going to the Lakers. Watching.
No, I'm invested. I don't want you to think that I'm not.
Okay, I'm just like, I'm like, okay, you keep looking at this TV.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
awesome.
Though.
So, all right, cool. All right, so RJ, maybe you'll come back because I can't hear you. I don't know where you at. Okay, let's go to so everybody's there at 7. Oh, but I need RJ to be there because I need him to answer some more questions. RJ, let me know when you're back.
Hello?
Hey, who's that?
I'm sorry, this is Gene. I had to click over. I'm back now.
Okay, so what I said was everybody, so we agreed. So one of the things I said is since you're the media director and until you change from that, everyone is going to report to you and you report to me. So if we don't deal with issues on Monday and maybe an issue comes up on Wednesday, then instead of calling Pastor, we're going to call Derek because he's the lead of the worship. We're going to call Nico because he's the lead for the cameras. You're going to call, who do we say was sound?
That's Danny.
Danny.
He's not on the call.
Okay, we're going to call Danny because he handles the sound. You call Esmond because he handles the board. So if those people are not in place, you're calling them directly because they're all reporting to you. Right now, as of while you were on hold, all of the leaders of these teams have agreed to be to the church at 7. Their teams are not there. They all have agreed. Nico has agreed to be there at 7. Derek has agreed to be there at 7. You're going to be there at 7. So whatever checks need to happen at 7, even if the full team is not there, the leaders of those teams are going to be there. Does that resonate with you?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So now what's the next thing that you need to do? Because you're leaving afterwards. What else will you need?
That's pretty much, I think if we did that, that would help a lot.
Okay.
Everything else would be something unexpected. So this last week, the unexpected thing was YouTube killed the stream because we probably need a CLC license. And we didn't really know that until we started up the stream on Sunday.
He did mention that. So I'll get to that in a second. Okay. The other thing, Alex, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, so I understand that you're now doing all of the graphics and you're doing the graphics that accompany the sermon and then any other graphics that are needed, right? Is that true?
No.
No.
I'm only responsible for graphics for Sunday and Wednesday. And then if there are additional graphics needed, I guess that's a by job basis. But the only thing that I'm responsible for are the graphics for Sunday for the screen and the graphics for Wednesday for the screen.
Okay, so awesome. So thank you for that clarity. So here's what's going to happen now. So one of the challenges we have is I would prefer that Pro Presenter is set up before Sunday, that we're not trying to set up Sunday. So if all graphics, everything that's for the order of worship on Sunday, if it can all be in and submitted by Thursday so that we go into Sunday with a plan already, the pastor can even see the graphics ahead of time, minus, because he may not have his points, he'll know his sermon topic by before Thursday. That's gonna help us be on track.
Yes, that's what I do.
Alex, to have graphics by Thursday?
Yes, that's what we've been doing on by Thursday. I created a Dropbox with Pastor as well as Gene in it, and every Thursday for Sunday, the graphics are in the Dropbox no later than almost like end of business day. So it should give them a email to let them know that something's been added. But normally on by Thursday evening, they will have the graphics for Sunday, and then for Wednesday, it's normally like Monday late. maybe Tuesday morning at the latest, but it's normally been Monday. But we have been doing Thursday lately.
Okay,
for
so
Sunday.
can we do this? Can we change one? Can you add me to the Dropbox so that I'll get a message? And is it possible
Yes.
to have Monday by noon and Thursday by noon?
I could do Monday by end of business day 5.
Okay.
Probably not by noon,
Okay.
but I could definitely do. Well, can I say end of business day 5? Because I know noon might be a little tight.
For which day?
Both Monday and Thursday.
That doesn't
Could
give
that
a lot
work?
of time. If you can do that, well, then I need to change it to Wednesday for the Sunday one. Let me tell you why. It doesn't give any
Okay.
time for revisions, because then it makes people working on Friday and then possibly Saturday. So I'm trying to get enough time for revisions. So can you make it Wednesday at 5? Monday I'm cool with, because Wednesday is not a big day as Sunday. But if Thursday, if you could do it noon, or Wednesday 5.
I would probably say Thursday could. If we have to do Thursday noon, I'll work it as best as I can. I know for the majority of the time, he has been giving us the graphic or what he's needing in advance. So I can just work to kind of push those out probably all at once. But I know sometimes he changes up as well, like throughout the week. Okay. Well, from what I've noticed, but I'll just put up what he sends, and we'll have all those in. Hopefully, if he does like he did last month, where he had everything at the top of the month, I'll just go ahead and knock everything out for that month.
That's
awesome.
I
guess that'll be a little easier.
Okay, good. So the goal is going to be Monday by 5 p.m., Thursday by noon. If you're going to be late, just message us. So I'm trying to get us on a streamline.
What's your email? I'm sorry.
Janice, Janice, at Moruwa, MORUWA.com. One of the things he did bring up, Alex, he's pleased with your work. He did feel like last week was a little rushed. Something about his points on his slide wasn't able to be in there or something. Like I don't know. He felt like it was rushed. So if we
wasn't.
Okay. I mean, listen, I don't draw or create, but I know. So if we can get it early enough, we can look at it and give feedback.
Right.
That's really what I would prefer, so that he won't be caught off guard. Plus, he may not. I don't know why but he felt like he hadn't seen the stuff before Sunday. Like all this stuff is great created, but he hasn't seen it before Sunday, and that's a challenge.
Should I message him, text him to let him know that it's there? I mean, it's there, but I didn't know if I needed to. Do I need to text him every time I put something in? Would that be better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, sorry, Janice, my phone died again, even though it was on the charger. It just died. now I'm good. Now I'm on an actual charger.
Okay, no problem. So yes, text him, Alex, and that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, let's see. So ProPresenter. So one of the things that Pastor mentioned is we're supposed to have the version of ProPresenter that allows for us to be able to set it up remotely. Is that what we have or not?
We have the campus license so that we can create certain things and just import. We don't have to recreate the actual screens, but not a remote. I can't log in remotely, but I can create it if I have to create something and then import what I've already created.
So that means literally the only time that you can set it up is that if
I have to be there. Yeah, okay. I don't have there's no remote way to do it.
So is there anyone else that's trained to use ProPresenter besides you?
Esmond is. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got to get with Esmond. He did say Esmond was cool. Okay, so let me see. And then, hold on.
But Janice, I think also we really might need to have some other people on ProPresenter. I think that is a lot to put on one person. Esmond is wonderful, but I think that is a lot to put on him. I think we might need to have more people who can be trained in ProPresenter, just because that's such a big part of the service now.
Well, and there's a possibility he won't be there sometime as well.
Right. So do we have anybody that's that is potentially trainable for Pro Presenter, guys?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, who are they?
I mean, the number of people who do come on to who want to help out on Sundays. We have a young lady named Miss B. We have a young lady named Victoria. We have a young lady named Brittany. Gentleman, Mr. Gordon Rodriguez. So we have a number of people who I'm sure we can easily train on the Pro Presenter. Who are most of them are there on Sundays.
Okay, awesome. So, RJ, when are you available to do a Pro Presenter training?
I can't say right now off the top of my head, but I will be back next week. I will try to think about that when I see my calendar, but I do think it can be soon. I just can't say right now.
Okay, so if you can let me know, you say you'll be back next week. By what time? By what day? I'm sorry.
I mean, I get back Saturday night, so I'll be there Sunday.
Okay, so is there can you let me know
I just don't.
next meeting when you can offer a Pro Presenter training?
You said when? By when?
As next Monday's meeting.
Oh yeah. I could probably tell you by now.
Okay, that's good. So all right, so we got the first action item. So it's first assignment. Derek.
Yes.
How soon do you know the worship songs that you're going to use on Sunday?
I usually try to send them no later than Tuesday evening. Tuesday night.
Tuesday evening. Who you send them to?
Eugene.
Okay, so can you copy me, Jonathan, and Eugene on that?
Hold on. Who am I copying? You?
Me and Jonathan, and the pastor.
And pastor. Okay.
Yes. So if you say you have it by Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay, so as long as you have it by Wednesday at noon, that'll be great for us.
Okay, Wednesday by noon. Gotcha.
Yep. So deadline for all music is Wednesday by noon. The goal, I'll tell you what we're trying to get to. If the song needs to change, when do you all have rehearsal?
We have rehearsals on Thursdays.
Okay, yeah. So if the song needs to change to go with the sermon, we want to give enough time for the song change, okay?
Okay.
All right. Eugene, does Wednesday by noon, that's okay for you to get this, the songs?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
Okay. Let me make sure I got everything else. Okay, we also need to talk about, before I go into sales, I haven't really heard from Jonathan and Wes. Is there anything that I'm missing, guys, that you guys think I need to cover?
The only thing that comes to mind with me is I get a lot of complaints on Sunday about how loud the music is. And
Okay.
I normally go to the guy on the soundboard and ask him to bring it down a little bit. And I mean, he's always cooperative, but it's to the point to where people are asking for earplugs. And I saw one young lady last Sunday with earmuffs on, like she was on a construction site or something.
Okay, anybody else? Is that their experience? Really? I mean, no. Nico, you just want to throw your phone around, but that's fine. Does anybody else have that experience? Is the experience for them that it's loud? Anybody on the team?
No. I mean, I think at least for the video people, we're just kind of used to it now. We already know. We assume it's going to be loud, even for our camera folks down on the floor. But we just try to talk louder, so we're fine with it.
First of all, why is the music loud? Like, this tripping me out. Y'all just gonna talk over the loud music. Okay, Jonathan, is it loud to you? Let me tell you why I'm asking, Wes. I'm asking because I know there's an age gap at the church, and so I want to be sensitive to what's age gap, what is preference, and so that's what I'm asking. I'm trying to just get a feel.
It sounds like you just called me old and deaf.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who coming to you. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's all ages, actually.
It is. Okay, because when I tell him, because one of the things that we talked about when we were getting a new system is like, he was like, I want them to feel it in their chest. Really? This is not a concert. However, before I need to be able to speak intelligently and say, hey, Pastor, you know, some people are really struggling with the audio. So I want to make sure that I'm covering everybody. So is the team struggling too? Well, we know the camera operator is just screaming over the audio. Jonathan, what's your experience?
When I'm there at 8 o'clock, I really kind of struggle with how it sounds in the audience. I've talked to Daniel before of how he plays a lot of stuff through the floor monitors and also the subs sometimes that's on the floor.
Okay.
I guess my biggest question, like last week, I wanted to know if the choir was really being heard out of the house speakers. But again, where I'm sitting at and those that are in the congregation is two different places. And plus, on the side, I already have a monitor in my ear, so I really can't gauge what's being heard. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard that it was loud, but then I think, again, with all the power that we have in the room, you know, I'm 25, so it don't bother me. But again, Daniel has said emphatically sometimes that he plays stuff through the monitors that's on the stage, which is reducing down the house speakers that are hanging. So I don't know what they're really getting a lot out of or where it's really coming from, but I've heard it from, you know, a couple of members. And, yeah.
Okay, so we got to work on that. Okay, so I'll put that down as something. Daniel's not here, so I got to figure out what we need to do. Thank you for bringing that up, Wes. Wes, are you the person who's responsible for making sure who would be responsible for like communion and stuff like that? Because apparently Sunday it was hideous.
Well, that's the responsibility of the chair, the diaconate ministry, and I had a discussion with him yesterday as to how we conduct communion, and I made a suggestion that we rehearse it at the upcoming deacons meeting, which will be next Monday.
Okay.
He actually had a meeting this past Friday at 7 p.m. and I think only about 5 deacons showed up, and I was one of the ones that didn't show up. I mean, you know, Friday is rough for me. I've worked all week long until 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's hard for me to run to a meeting at the church on Friday at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So since we already have a scheduled meeting, my suggestion was that we do it as a part of that meeting because that's when the majority of the deacons do show.
And what did he agree to that?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna try to bring it up again though. Huh? He said what?
Well,
he didn't respond.
Okay, so Jonathan, can you enforce that they rehearse communion on Monday?
Oh, without question.
Thanks, because y'all, come on now, we gotta have communion right. So he was not happy about that. Okay, so then next Monday, deacons meeting, Jonathan, you'll enforce that they're rehearsing communion. Thank you. All right, last things before we wrap it on up. Well, 2 last things. I'm gonna talk about this one thing, and then I'm gonna give you the flow of all the rest of the meetings because they will not go like this. I'm open the floor for last comments, and then I'm gonna talk about the to-dos that we've agreed to for tonight. So the first thing is product sales. Oh, Alex, are you working on a website?
Let me get that. We don't start that until, hold on, I have it on calendar. First week of July, second week of July. July, no, it was after this. Yeah. I think we put it down after we got back from AIM. I want to say it's the end of July though. But that was the deadline. The deadline to start working on it when we get back. Yeah, when we get back. That's what we had in our conversation with him. We had a meeting with him that we would do it after we got back from AIM. We'll start it after we got back in AIM, and then we will probably be complete by August.
By August? Can you give me a specific? Okay, so it will be complete.
1 second. I have it written down. I'm just trying to find the date.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be live August 1.
Huh? What you said, Jonathan?
It's supposed to be live August 1.
Okay.
Now, Janice, real quick on sales, just to throw it out there. I don't know if they updated you, but they made a decision to do the CDs and stuff immediately after service, and I almost want to say DVDs as well. it won't be what we can do if we do it after the fact. So like if we do a DVD after the fact, we add chapter markers, intros, and all that kind of stuff. But we can't do that, you know, to have it available like that because we don't have equipment for that. So I think we had said that New Beach Grove would sell the DVDs and/or CDs immediately after service, but then after that, everything else would go to Maxwell Ministries, I think.
Yep, that's correct. I was going to get to that. So, okay, so that's good. So as long as everybody knows that. I mean, yes, he did tell me that. So tell me what, but we need to, they can't get it unless they go into the website. So the website is when?
I don't see the exact date, but I know I told him it takes about 2 weeks after we start. We get back from AIM on that Saturday. Oh, we're supposed to start the website on the 9th of July, and it takes about 2 weeks. So I would say the 23rd.
Okay. And what will you need to do it? And he said you're going to use another platform. What is it?
Wix. In order to do that,
You see my face? You can't see me thrown up. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I don't.
You'll never know on the front end.
I know, but no, okay. So front end. Let me just say that. Thank you for saying that, because it's a team meeting. Front end, you're absolutely right. But back end, who's going to manage it?
Well, I felt like Wix would be the easiest because it's very user friendly.
Okay.
And you could probably have anybody to manage it.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted to kind of use it, because it's really, really easy to manage on the back end.
Okay. So it's going to be done on, this is how I'm all for it. So here's, for me, that's great. It's going to start on the 9th. It's going to end on the 23rd. I don't know who you're partnering with to get what you need for the website. So that's.
I'm not sure. Who should I?
Yep, that's going to be interesting. You're probably going to need to partner with me, because a lot of the things you might have said that we worked on the website before. A lot of things they just didn't have. So I can give you all of what we do have, and what and we could just talk about what needs to be created. The other thing that would be really important. So for everything that we create on our end, we provide a equipping manual / job aid. So like when we do a website, like the church site is Squarespace. So Donna has an equipping manual so that she can make standard updates to the website herself. That's the church secretary. But what we did, we just created a manual that teaches them how to do that. Same thing for his mobile app as well as the church's mobile app. So I'm just asking that along with the site that you make a equipping manual that allows them to make easy updates, because this would be maybe the 3rd or 4th website that the church has gone through. And if they change contractors or something, I'm all about making the team church self-sufficient. None of us should be the bottleneck. None of us. And while we are all experts at the thing that we do, we don't want to leave the church crippled should we go work with other clients or they have another contractor. So in the build out process, could you do that, please?
I can. I definitely can. But it's a question, and it might be an offline question. That's not normally in our package of what we've set up. So I don't know if we probably have to talk offline on that behalf for the website half.
Okay. That's no problem. We could talk about it offline. You could call me. All right. So that's good. So sales, as we wrap it on up. Thank you guys.
Okay. Wait. I got another question. Question.
What?
So for the DVDs and stuff that I do, how do you want me to give that to you, or do you want the digital file, or how are we gonna do that?
So here, thank you for saying that. That's where we every week. So Nico and my team had a very good system. We really need this implemented again. So what would happen is on Sundays after service, Nico would upload to Dropbox the raw files. From the Dropbox, my team will pull it, create the podcast, and we will create 12 clips and an edited broadcast. Those things were due by Wednesday at noon, but we always had them finished by Tuesday. Those were in a Dropbox that we all had access to. I know you guys don't do 12 clips for him, but I really do need to see the files, because right now I don't see anything until it's published. So
I think what we can do, I think we have one, but we can make a Dropbox and put it on that streaming computer, Nico. And then, that the same files that we put in 8 and 11 a.m. on that folder, we can just add that to Dropbox. And then that way, and then we just add Janice to it. That way you can see 8 and 11.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay. So,
okay. I mean, we can create it, Janice, and then they'll just drop it in. And then once it's uploaded, you can just go see it.
Okay, awesome. And when will it be uploaded?
I'm assuming they can do that right after service or
Right
after the first service.
Okay.
It's just a drag and drop, and then however long the internet takes to upload it.
Okay. All right. So, Nico, could you incorporate that into the workflow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, guys. This is a long meeting, but thank you so much. I'm going to make sure I covered all of the stuff. Hold on.
I have one more comment.
Yes, Wes.
I get beat up every Sunday if something is not going right, and pastor will tell me, go tell so-and-so to go do this and go tell so-and-so to do that. And my point is, sometimes it appears, and I'm not throwing stones at anyone, but it appears that people aren't necessarily focused in on what's happening with the service.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing and all that, but they're not really paying attention to what's happening in the sanctuary with the different events that are going on. Like this past Sunday, pastor said something about how come my point isn't on the screen right now.
That's right. Who manages? Edmund manages Sunday. So that's that, Wes. Okay, so on Sundays, who is the worship? So we called it not the worship team leader, Derek, but we call it the worship leader, who was in charge of that particular Sunday's worship. We typically rotate it. I need to know for New Beach Grove, who is the worship leader on Sunday? Who makes sure everything is running like it's supposed to run? Who's that person?
Well, the worship leader doesn't function with that title for New Beach. The worship leader doesn't function in that capacity.
Okay.
That worship leader is really for lack of a better words, it's the MC.
Okay.
They just call it. So I'm in charge of all of that. So we have preachers that do it on the rotation.
So for that team, so here's a suggestion. Do you all have, right now, Sunday morning meetings prior to church?
No.
So what we used to have, and I'm definitely I can't remember when I'm coming down, but we need to talk about it. If this was good, you guys suggest it, and I'll try to come down within the next couple of months and do all training for everybody. But what we did, one thing that works very well is we have Sunday morning huddles. Have you guys heard of that? So what would happen is everybody who's serving on a particular Sunday would get to church at the same time, and we have a huddle. And so in the huddle, first you do a quick prayer. Secondly, you give a rundown of anything that's going on that's out of the ordinary. And you just cover the people who are serving. So whatever ushers on staff that day, whatever children's leaders that are on staff that day, whatever media people who are on staff that day, we all get together for a quick huddle. You might get an encouraging word, but mainly pray and to make sure that we're all on the same team. Hey guys, we're having a special guest this week. Hey, pastor's gonna give away this at something. Hey, we got a special video, so please nobody moving during that time. Whatever, to make sure we're on the same page. In the absence of that, then Jonathan, whoever the pastor is, the preacher or the minister that is watching, they have to make sure that all leaders are on the same page. And right now, it seems like all leaders are not on the same page. So I don't know what is in place to get everybody on the same page outside of running around. So a huddle would be great, and then huddles only last 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Let's pray. Let's say, this is what's going on. We got communion today. We got these two people leading communion. We got these ushers right here. Y'all remember, we want to get communion over in 10 minutes or whatever. So possibly contemplating that would be really great. The other thing that is important is he doesn't understand. He told me this morning. Why with all of the options, trying to say it in a nice way, we have for babies still distracting the service. So I feel like it's two things. It's an usher, and there's no ushers on the call. So I don't know who's going to do it. If you're going to do it, Jonathan or Wes. But somebody has talked to the lead ushers to let them know that the number one distraction in ministry at a church service is a baby. That's the number one noted distraction. Studies have shown that. And it can be from a baby crying to a baby cooing to a baby playing. So the new facility has so many options for us to eliminate that distraction. The moment it starts, we need to have a plan in place for an usher to escort the parent to the booth where they could listen, or to the nursery, or to some other option, because it's a distraction not just to the pastor. The main distraction that he was concerned about is distracting the people around the baby.
So let me say something. I don't know if something took place at 11 o'clock with the child.
You did.
Okay, so that was 11 o'clock. I wasn't there because 8 o'clock ran pretty much smoothly. And then again, I don't know what ushers were on duty for 11 o'clock, but we've had multiple conversations with the ushers, and even some with deacons. They've been trying their best. 8%. They've been trying their best with trying to handle this facet of ministry with these babies, but we'll reiterate it again. And then I guess what we can start doing from a MC standpoint is also offering the same platforms as well from the pulpit.
Yes.
So that it doesn't seem like we got mean ushers. So we'll handle that the best way that we can.
Okay, that'll be good. Okay, so
But
guys,
now,
go ahead.
Hey, question. Would it be a good idea if we made in the video announcements, hey, if you have a baby, you can welcome to go to the back where we do blah, 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 and then have that in there? Is that an
would
idea
be great.
too?
Yes, RJ. Yes,
Okay.
do that. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn my light on. Yes, RJ, could you implement that for this week? Or at least,
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think all of those are good ideas. But I would tell you, I served as the deacon advisor for ushers for a period of time. And some people are just determined to bring their baby in the center.
Well, then they need to sit in the back.
Well, you know, that's easier said than done.
You need me to come up there, Deacon West? I'm just because I mean, and you're right. I'm saying doing it with love, but it's best we can, because I don't know what happened on Sunday, but we just want to eliminate that distraction as much as possible. Okay, guys, for real, I'm trying to go. Y'all still trying to keep on talking. Okay, this is it. So let me just, first of all, great call. Thank everybody for your time commitment on tonight. Does Mondays typically work for everybody, or do we need to change to another day?
If I'm available, Monday is the best day.
Who said that?
RJ.
I know. I'm talking to you offline. You are too extra. But thank you. If you're available.
No, I was being honest. You asked me to be honest. I was being honest. Out of all the days in the week, if I'm available, yes, Monday is the best day. How is that not being extra?
I can't.
Please, somebody have my back on this call.
And no, anybody got your back tonight because you being too much.
Janice just want to fight somebody.
I think Pastor Johnson got my back. Pastor Walden got my back. He's just not talking right now.
Janice just want to swing on somebody.
I argue that, some Mondays, because Mondays is normally when we do a lot of our ministry meetings.
Okay.
So, we'll run into some of them like next week. We'll be with the deacons and whomever else. So there may be some issues with Monday, but I guess for the overall cast of it, we'll see.
Okay, we can see that. Okay, so let's just try for a while, and if we need to switch, I think the only day we could do would be a Tuesday because we don't want to get too far in the week.
Right.
Okay, so let me tell you how in the future it's going to go. From this meeting on, we're going to start our meeting with a celebration. We're going to start on a good note. Everybody's going to go and tell us one thing that went well that past 7 days. It does not have to do with the church. It can be the church. It can be with your job. It can be with your personal life. Then we'll go over our rocks. That's our strategic things that we're working on, the big things that we're working on right now. Then we'll have a time for everybody to give a headline, which is we'll go through and you'll just give me an update, a one-sentence update, good, bad, and different. Hey, the website is moving, it's going well. Hey, the sales have started, is great. Y'all, them people still acting crazy. Whatever it is, one sentence update. Then we'll go to issues. And issues are not necessarily problems, but these are the obstacles that are preventing us from finishing our projects for our assignments. And we'll list those out, and then we will take time to resolve as many issues as we can while we're on the call. And then we'll go to the to-do list. From the issues, what are the to-dos? We'll list them out. To-dos should not take longer than 7 days to complete. So when you come to the next call, your to-do should already be finished. we'll have our conclusion. We'll keep the meeting to 1 hour. I knew this one wasn't going to be that, but we're going to keep it to 1 hour starting next time we meet. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Yes.
So let me go over, as we go, let me just talk about the to-dos from this meeting. So by next Monday, I have that RJ is going to give us some dates for ProPresenter training. And then at the same time, Nico, I'd like for you to have a list of potential people who can be trained on ProPresenter, okay?
All right.
All right, on Wednesday evening by noon, all music will be emailed to me, Pastor Jonathan, and RJ by Derek, right?
Yes.
On next Monday, well, Jonathan, when we leave this meeting, he's going to suggest very strongly that the deacons rehearse communion at their Monday meeting.
It won't be a suggestion.
Thank you. That's all I was waiting. I mean, y'all up here acting like y'all give people. I mean, hey, that's all I'm saying. Thank you. So, as of today, Monday, July 2nd, all team leads and hopefully staff that are serving on Sunday, but definitely the team lead, will meet at the church at 7 a.m. on Sundays. So this Sunday, Nico will be there at 7. Derek will be there at 7. Jonathan, you gonna be there at 7?
So listen. Here's what I'm gonna say, right?
What?
Because we're up preaching this Sunday. That's early. I'm gonna get my associates in place to be part of this little huddle that we're doing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try to be there, but if not, I'm gonna email my notes.
If you're not there, you need somebody representing you. Can you do that?
Nah, I'll be there.
Thank you. Okay, so everybody's gonna be there at 7. RJ, do you hear that? Are you gonna be there at 7?
Yes, ma'am. The only reason it'll be happening if something happened with my flight, but if not, I'll be there at 6:30.
Happening with your flight in Jesus' name. Great. So,
yeah.
so since
I was just saying continuously, but I open the church at 6:30, so I'm there before I'm there before 7.
Okay, cool.
By
so you're gonna have
by the time everybody gets there, the lights are on, the screen is on, the cameras usually are up, like everything is running by 7.
Okay, well, we just want to make sure. So can somebody let Esmond and Daniel know that they need to be there at 7?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then by next Monday, also, RJ, can you just have me a rough bulleted outline of what you can do now that you got this new pay?
Yes, and also one more thing. Is there a possibility, because I get a lot of video requests from, I guess, when people realize, okay, we got somebody to make videos, so I be getting emails, I need this video, I need that video. And really, as of what I was told, I was just doing whatever videos that Pastor Maxwell wanted. And so what I've been working on recently is more the in-touch stuff. So is there a possibility the video media requests can go through some type of, like, Pastor Jonathan or somebody who can be like, okay, yeah, this is valid to go, and we set up a time versus, because I want people to feel like they just not getting, like, oh, I had him do my video, he did my video, and they feel some kind of way about it where they don't realize I'm not here to make, unlimited videos, but there's a process. How can we do that?
So that's interesting that you said that, because for you and also for Alex and Janice, maybe the four of us can kind of get on a conference call and discuss that, because what was shared with me, especially in regards to Alex about him being on retainer, was that, those graphics were coming through Alex on retainer regardless of what it was requested. And because he is the standard of what we want stuff to come from, that would be it. But I think in far as what you're asking me, Eugene, I totally understand. Not everything won't make it. And because, 2 reasons. One, because video announcements are playing up to somewhere between 5 to 6 minutes. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but we've been doing 2-hour worship services, 8 and 11. So we've got to kind of challenge that. So I will be the funnel for that.
Okay.
So people or ministries can submit that to me. But I guess once I approve or disapprove, I guess we need to figure out what timeline, what day that is a good day for you to catch what needs to be caught. So I'm willing to do that, but I just kind of need to know the extras to it as well.
So
Okay.
So how about, let me add, RJ, does this work for you? If they submit, if something is approved, can it be given to you by Tuesday at noon, or it's not going to be included in this week's announcements?
Well, it just depends. If they give it to me and it's already produced, hey, that's great. But if I have to film it, right. So if I have to film it, then I can't give that particular day because I don't know what my calendar will look like that week. So I would hope that maybe say like I would ask that whatever they want, they ask Pastor Johnson a month ahead of time. That way we already know what Pastor Maxwell wants with what he wants us to produce, to see if that's even workable in our timeline. But then that gives us a whole month ahead of time to figure out how we can fit in our time. If we can do a month ahead, that gives everybody a chance. And that gives Alex a chance to make whatever lower thirds or backdrops he needs to create, and then we have time to do it.
So, Eugene, let me ask you this. When the youth did that video, I'm trying to hurry up for my computer dies. When the youth did that video and Nico recorded it, did that help or was that not a help?
No, that's a great help. Yeah, anything else that can happen, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Those are wonderful help. And I'm glad you said that because I think there's other ways we can get certain things done as well. So we can look at other, we got decent cameras. We can do that as well. But in the event I have to do something, that's all. I just want nobody to feel left out.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so y'all can let me know what y'all decide next week. Also, the last couple of things that are going to be done, I'm going to be added to a Dropbox by Nico and Alex. And I'm going to get, when Alex uploads graphics, he's sending an email to Pastor, to me, to Jonathan for preview, and to RJ. And then Nico, we're going to go back to our Sunday after service upload of graphics, right?
Yes.
Upload a video. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm getting off the phone with y'all. I'm hungry. So any questions?
I got one more thing. No, I'm playing.
Okay, so I'm up here falling out. Okay, so this was really good. All right, I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank y'all for indulging me tonight. Thank you for all your feedback. Is there anything that we missed? Any questions? Anything I didn't cover in the to-do list that was said?
Thank you, Janice.
You're welcome, RJ.
See you next week.
All right, y'all have a good one. I'm going to send an email probably tomorrow that'll have the recording to this as well as the format that I told you guys that it's going to be for next week.
Cool.
Okay, y'all have a good one. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.